Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about this weapon that I got. This is the final boss's weapon. You use it by consuming the final boss's soul. But this sword is very, very strong, and it fully specs into Faith. So I am mixing it with lots of memories and spells, and I've kind of gone for this golden, like, dragon warrior type build. I just want to show you how strong this build is when it comes to clearing out groups of enemies. Just this sword itself, not even my build. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, whenever you end up beating the game yourself, I suggest you use the boss soul to get this sword. It is very strong. Um, I tried using it on my farm spot, but unfortunately the enemies there are weaker to fire, and that's why the Sword of Night and Flame works best on it. So it's kind of hard to use this sword. But as you can see here, it doesn't do as much damage as the Sword of Night and Flame. But if we're going to keep it 100% real, the Sword of Night and Flame is a very boring weapon to use. It barely does any damage on normal swing attacks, so you have to rely on magic. And the magic is just too OP for me and also too boring. You just stand still and hold your stance, do the magic attack. It's really just not fun for me. But this sword, you can really make some cool magic faith builds with this. And it itself does a lot of damage, so it's a lot better for these endgame areas. The magic itself does not do nearly as much damage as the Sword of Night and Flame, but the sword itself is a lot stronger because it also scales off your dexterity, and you don't have to completely rely on your magic skills. Obviously, using this Faith Sword, though, allows you to spec into more Faith spells, which will allow you to clear out these enemies very fast. That being my favorite spell in this game, it just looks so cool. But obviously, for this farm spot, I'd recommend still using the Sword of Night and Flame or a Fire AoE spell that works well against the tree enemies. But this sword is very fun, so whenever you beat the game, I just recommend not wasting the soul. I recommend you get the sword because it is very, very strong, very fun to mess around with. Oh my god, hey there, bud. I just kind of want to show you some situations where the sword would be very, very good. This weapon thrives on very, like, flat, open lands. And you're about to see how crazy this AoE skill actually truly is. And the amount of range and the cone it covers is insane. It goes all the way to that giant and covers such a large cone. It's even better than the beam attacks on the Sword of Night and Flame when it comes to the bosses because you don't even have to get close. And this sword also, like the Sword of Night and Flame, works well with the Mimic to your Ash because your Mimic will use its arts. And if you're using a build similar to mine, where you're also a Spellblade, your Mimic will also use things like this. Personally, this is the build I'm going to be rocking for a while. It'll definitely be like a go-to for me. I'll take it into the harder areas before I finish this new game. Probably take it into New Game Plus, test it out. But yeah.